Hey, it's Mini Chocobo, and welcome to Loot from 100 Grubby Chests. So in this week's update, the Forthos Dungeon was released in Zia. And in this dungeon, there are a couple new monsters such as the Temple Spiders and the Undead Druids. And most notably, there is also a boss, which is a giant spider known as Sriracha. Sure does sound a lot like sriracha sauce to me though. Grubby keys are obtained from killing these unique monsters, and the most common way to get them, of course, is from the boss as a 1 in 64 drop. To actually get to the chest is pretty annoying, and also you get a lot of drops that are like partial drops, such as potions that are not 4 doses, as well as you get a ton of food. So you can only do 2 keys per inventory, so it's definitely a little bit slower than doing crystal keys. Originally, I did not realize, obviously, that you would get this much supplies. It even gives you a warning. I hadn't actually adjusted to realizing it was 2 keys, and so as you saw in these first couple clips, I definitely was just trying to juggle stuff. I really wanted to make sure I got the exact amount of potatoes and all that, so I always went back and picked up all of the extra loot. Speaking of the egg potatoes, those are definitely the most notable drop, although they're one of the only drops that aren't noted. I did not even know egg potatoes existed, so yeah, they do heal 16, which is the same as a monkfish, which is pretty good, and they're only around 300 GP each right now since people are just dumping them. So if you are looking for some cheap healing food, definitely look into those egg potatoes. Something else to keep in mind, if you do plan on opening these keys, make sure you at least have the Wilderness Sword 1. You will always slash the web. If you don't have this, then it's a pain in the butt to get through those webs. The Grubby Chests appear to always drop either runes, herbs, coins, dragon bones, hides, crystal keys, and dragon arrows / dart tips, as well as the food and random potion drops. So it feels like it's 3 unique loot tables that are always rolled every single key. While I don't think these are nearly as OP as the Loran or the Konar keys, these are still a nice addition to the drop table. I'm also really curious if they drop from the red dragons. On the wiki at this time, it doesn't show. Maybe we'll have to kill 1,000 red dragons just to see, because that would be a really nice addition to that task as well. The fact that you're able to get brews and restorers as well as range pots could be really big for early Ironmen going for fire capes. Also, the unnoted food and potions could maybe be a game changer for ultimate Ironmen. I'm not 100% sure if it really makes a difference, but maybe? I'm really happy that they did add this dungeon, just because doing the Tower of Life on an Ironman was absolutely awful, and it seems like red spider eggs will be pretty easy to get now. I'm also really excited about the new boss being in multi. I really like the idea of being able to kill it with your friends. I do hope that eventually they add an instance room so that too many people won't have to deal with crashers, as well as it would be very convenient for Iron Man mode. Speaking of the new Sriracha boss, you actually run by its entrance when running to the Grubby Chest, and I happened to actually see a player with the new pet already. That is pretty crazy. He must have gotten really lucky, of course, since this update's only been out less than 10 hours. At this point, I only had a couple keys left. We'll go ahead and take a look at all of the loot. I definitely am very interested in the amount of death runes I got for my Iron Man. This is amazing. Also, those torsals, 60 total torsals is no small amount. As I stated earlier, the Wikipedia also mentions that instead of the dragon arrow tips, you can receive dragon dart tips. It's kind of a shame that I didn't receive any of these because they are worth the most amount of money, but paying such a high premium for these keys, I do think this will be a low-level moneymaker in the near future. As for the total price check, it comes in at 4.816 million GP. I have a feeling not everything will sell for their estimated amounts, but it will be pretty dang close. Let's go ahead and use the magic power of post-production editing and fast forward to everything selling. Unfortunately, the egg potatoes really did let us down and only sold for 300 or so each, but 4.672 mil total. This took me about an hour and a half to open all of the keys. It is pretty slow. I'm sure you could make it a little bit faster though. I would say that maybe buying the keys for like 40k each would totally be a decent moneymaker. Also, if you could leave a like on the video and or subscribe if you're not already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. I stream now on twitch.tv/chocobo. I will leave a link to that in the description. Last but not least, thank you, Kate, for making the intro. I have been getting a bunch of art from her and she's super awesome. And if you're interested in any of those types of artworks, feel free to check her commissions page, which are also in the description, as well as thank you again for watching the video. I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.